A member of the party of so-called family values believes that children, students, should be forced to work at McDonald's if they can't afford school lunch. So this is Georgia Representative Rich McCormick arguing that, hey, Donald Trump's freeze on federal spending, which was delayed by a court, and takes food out of the mouths of children, is actually a great opportunity to, get rid of free lunch so those damn moocher children can get back to work.
You're telling me that kids who stay at home instead of going to work at Burger King and McDonald's during the summer should stay at home and get their free lunch instead of going to work? I think we need to have a top-down review.
I think you're painting a lot of these kids with a broad brush. I would say that's not necessarily a fair assessment of all of the kids. So you would say all the kids in your district who use the free lunch, for example, or breakfast, they're all just sitting at home and not working. Okay, I just want to clarify because that seems like what you were trying to insinuate.
This gives us a chance. This gives us a chance, though, to see where is the money really being spent. Who can actually go and actually produce their own income? Who can actually go out there and do something that makes them have value and work skills for the future? I mean, how many people got their start in fast food restaurants when they were kids versus just giving a blanket rule that gives all kids lunches in high school who are capable of going out and actually getting a job and doing something that makes them have value, thinking about their future instead of thinking about how they're going to sponge out the government when they don't need to. We don't give people value. We don't give them the ability to dig themselves out when we penalize them for actually working and actually keep them on welfare. That's what's been the inner city problem for a very long time. We need to have a top-down review so we can get people out of poverty, because you know what? America's very good at creating jobs and giving people worth. And we've been very traditionally good at that, but we're losing our way. And that's when we give people incentives to stay at home and not work. That doesn't work for America.
But a lot of these kids aren't even of working age. They're young kids, and as you well know, and also some of the kids in Head Start, they're 5 and under.
Remember, he's talking about students, right? Whose primary job is to get through school, to get educated. All right, but where do I even begin with this guy? Okay, obviously. Him talking about, these children, they need to work to have value, to have any sort of worth, or else they are worthless and they're sponging out the government. Remember, this is how these people think about other human beings, right? That apparently if you are not generating profits for a giant corporation, that you have no inherent worth or value. That's what he's saying. That's what he's saying. Okay. Now, the other thing is, so you need to work so you can have, skills, right? It's skills. Okay. Well, what skills are you getting from working at McDonald's? Now, I know that the people who work at McDonald's, they have to be good with customer relations. You got to deal with people, right? That time management, obviously. You got to be fast, organized. They've got to learn how to operate all the different pieces of equipment, fryers. They've got to have time organization skills, time management skills. They've got to be able to handle money. They've got to be able to work these credit card machines. So there are skills that come along with that. Okay. Having a low skill, this whole idea of low skilled or no skilled jobs, it's just one of those things that justify poverty wages, right? I know all that. But this guy, he is part of the same group of people that say, well, if you want to get paid a wage that you can actually survive on, then you need to get a real job. Stop working at McDonald's. So my question then to him would be, are fast food jobs that you can get real skills from, and are therefore actual jobs? and if that's the case, then the people who work them currently, do they not deserve a living wage for working a real job? Or are they not real jobs? And so if they're not real jobs, then what skills would these children who are, let's be real, okay, that are already impoverished and therefore would need free lunch, okay, what skills would these poor children in poverty be, getting? I mean, these are very simple questions, okay, that I doubt he would be able to answer, okay, in any sort of satisfactory way. Look, I think it's obvious why he has this position. He wants child labor. Child labor allows corporations to save money by underpaying child workers. Okay, that's it. That drives down wages for adult workers. And by the way, what happens if those, child workers can't find a job? What, should they just starve then? How pro-family of you. Real nice people. And by the way, from someone who was a doctor, he said he was an ER doctor, right? Well, I'm sure then if you're a doctor, you have to be aware that humans do better, have better cognition, can actually think when they actually have money to be fed, okay? When they actually have food in their stomachs, okay? You would think that, you would know that. I mean, okay, let's have you study for your med school exam after having not eaten for 2 days. We'll see how well you do on your test. All right? Let's see it. They'll never do that. No, it's only poor kids. Okay? It's only poor kids that have to work. Rich kids, they never have to. They're the ones that can sit there because their parents can already afford it. They can sit there and, have everything paid for and then, be fed and do better on their test scores. This is all a way of trying to allow rich children to get a better education than poor children, okay? Because then if poor children don't have a good education, then they can't compete with the rich children for jobs, okay, for money. That's it. So now, in addition, by the way, multiple studies have shown that free school lunches actually lead to better health and improved school performance without having any negative impact on the student's weight. But of course, here's the thing. As I already mentioned, feeding children is not a priority of the Republican Party. Never has been. No, instead, what they want to do is they want to cut government and then feed themselves with more tax cuts for the rich. Now, there was a candidate in this election who talked about free school lunches, who actually signed a bill to have universal school lunch. That was Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota. Okay? Look, I like Governor Walz. I like the fact that he talked about, hey, we're supposed to be good for, to our neighbors. It is a shame that he was not actually at the top of the ticket, because I think he would have done better had the consultants not gotten to that campaign and told him, shut up, stop calling Republicans weird, stop talking about how, we're supposed to be good to our neighbors, stop talking about how, the socialism that you did in Minnesota. Well, what happened, right? Now, it turns out that, by the way, universal school lunch is pretty popular. According to a YouGov poll conducted back in August of 2023, about 6 in 10 U.S. adults favored providing universal school lunches to every child. 57% think that students should also have access to free breakfast. And most other respondents say that, well, okay, maybe universal is going too far, but definitely for poor kids. Yeah, you should have school lunches at least for the poor kids, people from low-income families. So that's a majority of Americans that are like, duh, of course we should feed the children. Why wouldn't we? And yet you've got the Republicans saying, oh, no, screw them. Starve the children unless they're willing to work at McDonald's. Now, why would Harris not run on something so incredibly popular? I don't remember her campaign talking about universal school lunches. Once again, I think the consultants got to her. But I do think that certainly had she won, she would not be saying the kinds of things that this guy is saying, that, oh, we should take this opportunity to fund school lunches, school meals for hungry children, and instead force them to work at McDonald's. This is the same party that also said something like, well, instead of school lunches, we should make the poor children, unclog the toilets, and work as janitors in the schools. These people are so giddy about putting the children to work, you know, for basic things like food. It just really shows you who they are and what their priorities are, which is, of course, to put Americans, adult Americans, out of work in these jobs and replace them with an army of lesser paid poor children. That's who these people are. Absolute total ghouls. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.